The pasuk says "Umalchusei bakol mashala," which literally means that His sovereignty, His kingship, Hashem's kingship, bakol mashala, it reigns sovereign over kol, over everything. But says the Ma'arinayim, no, not mashala, bakol mashala. It reigns or rules over everything. But mashala milashon mashal, like a parable. Umalchusei, you want to find Hashem? Bakol mashala. You realize that everything is a parable to spirituality. Bakol mashallah. Hashem is invested, much like the moral of a story, right, or of a parable, is hinted to and enclosed within the seemingly simple parable. Hashem is enclosed within all the seemingly simple activities in this world. Like the Maggid Mezrich said, based on what we say, v'koine hakol, right? Which literally means that Hashem acquires everything, right? V'koine hakol are really based on the pasuk also, mala aretz kinyanecha, right? That the whole earth is filled with your acquisitions, Hashem. Right? Meaning Hashem owns everything. Hashem is in control of everything. Says the Maggid Mezrich, something so deep. No. Mala ha'aretz, the whole earth is filled with kinyanecha, ways of acquiring you. Mala ha'aretz, artsy is physicality, mundanity, machshava dibur maisa, b'melacha oimaso matan, in your business, no shaykhis, not in the base medrash, not in the shul. Mala ha'aretz kinyanech. Umalchusai bakol mashallah. The question is, if we're seeing life as a meaningless sequence of stories, or we're seeing it as a meaningful sequence of parables. And these are two different ways of living. I'll say that again. There's a way of viewing this world as a meaningless sequence of stories that are just, they may be entertaining, some of them may be happy, some of them may be sad. So there are dramas, there are comedies, there are tragedies, right? But there's another way of looking at the world where we see a meaningful sequence of parables. Meaning that seeing things as a parable implies that that's only step one. Step two is to mine that parable for its meaning. Umalchusai bakol mashallah. When we begin to dig deep beyond our thoughts, beyond our words, beyond our actions, do you know what we find? Malchusai. Can I assume that there's meaning in everything? Can I wake up in the morning excited to experience and embrace whatever it is that I'm going to experience today, much of which I know, but some of which I have no way yet of knowing who I'm going to meet, what the circumstance is going to be, what's going to go on. Can I be open to embrace the experience of decoding that parable? Not just of observing the story, but I'm actually interested to see what's today's curriculum. What's on the menu today? What is Hashem going to communicate to me today? And then, when we develop this perspective, we can go ahead and share our experiences with others in a far more meaningful way. So instead of just, calling your parents, let's say, or speaking to your spouse at the end of you come home after a long day of work, and instead of just talking about what you went through, can you imagine a whole nother dimension of a conversation when you're able to give over the mashal, not just the story, but the mashal as well as the nimshal? Can you imagine how that upgrades the content of that conversation? How that retrospectively sanctifies your entire day? Where it wasn't just mundane experiences, I was in the doctor's office and this and that and this and that, but we have our ears open to believe that a conversation we overhear is not just something we happen to have overheard. Obviously, we shouldn't try to eavesdrop on other people's conversations, but something that you happen to overhear. No, there's no happenstance. That's a mashal. Mashal, it has a nimshal. Go deep. Go deep. Bring it home. Share it with your kids. Share it with your friends. Post it on Facebook. Share it with the world. Because then you realize it's not just your curriculum. It's their curriculum too. There's something there for everyone. And that's a surefire way, not by doing anything radical, because I'm not saying that you're going to start to go to the mikveh every morning and say tikkun chatzah. There's nothing here that's different than what you're already doing. It's just a shift in perspective to start seeing life as a series of parables, to look deep, deep, deep in everything. Everything has depth. Malay Chala Aretz Kavod, Hashem is everywhere. And so there's a message in everything.